Hey friends, welcome back. Today's yoga practice is all about flowing through yin and yang and just incorporating a little bit of Chinese medicine in this one. No props are really needed, but if you know you like to practice with blocks or a blanket, feel free to pause the video and grab any props that you would like. With this one, we are going to get started in a standing position in a mountain pose. So I invite you to start at the top of your mat and we'll get started. So find the top of your mat. Spread your toes wide. And we're going to start to find a mountain pose. So just feel down into the feet. Again, spread your toes wide. Start to stand up nice and tall, arms out by your side, palms facing away. And maybe you do this while you close down your eyes and just start to focus in on your body. And take a moment to draw your attention down towards your feet. Feel the mat beneath you. Feel the earth beneath you. Nice strong legs. And check in with your hips. How are your hips feeling right now? Rib cage stacked over pelvis, shoulders over rib cage. Fingertips reaching down towards your mat. Again, palms facing away. Shoulders relaxed down away from your ears. And sealing the lips so you're taking a nice inhale through the nose and an exhale through the nose. And just sort of imagine that there is an imaginary string attached to the crown of your head. And somebody above you is pulling on that string, pulling it towards the sky. So think about standing up a little bit taller. Maybe you slightly part your teeth and soften around the jaw and sides of your neck. Relax the muscles around your face. And start to invite in a slow, steady breath. And on your next inhale, we're going to start to stretch the arms up overhead. Feel free to open the eyes. And an exhale, soften your knees to forward fold on your exhale. Inhale to a halfway lift. Find placement right along the legs, anywhere along the legs that you can find some length in the spine. So think about having your eyes in between, or your gaze in between the feet. And find that length from tailbone to crown of the head. Take an inhale here, and an exhale to soften your knees and forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, extend a mountain, clasp the hands, flip the palms over so palms facing towards the sky. Inhale through the nose, and exhale, side bend to the right. And just stopping to where you feel that stretch along the left side of the body. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, soften your knees and forward fold. Let's plant the hands, step back to your plank. Feel free to lower your knees here, but we're going to take an exhale to come all the way down. Inhale for a baby cobra. So just lifting the head and the chest. Chest reaches forward, heart nice and open. Relax the glutes. And on your next exhale, go ahead and release all the way down towards your mat. Inhale pushes you up into tabletop. Tuck your toes. Take an exhale to a downward facing dog. So feel free to pedal out the feet here if you would like. Make any movement through the feet that feels good. And then we'll find some stillness here. Let's take an inhale, float the left leg up. And exhale, step that left foot through, lower the right leg. Take an inhale, reach up, low lunge. Left ankle can come past or left knee can come past the left ankle. Arms reach up. Take another inhale here as you reach up towards the sky, and an exhale to bend the elbows, find cactus arms. See if you can draw the tailbone down towards your mat. Inhale, reach up, and exhale to release the hands down on the mat. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, step forward to a forward fold. Nice, easy forward fold here. Inhale, rise all the way up, extended mountain, maybe a little back bend. And exhale to a chair pose. So sinking the hips down, bending the knees as much as you would like there. Come back to your breath. And then on an inhale, start to straighten your legs, reach up towards the sky. And exhale, soften your knees, forward fold. Plant the hands, step back to your plank or your modified plank with knees down. Take an exhale to lower yourself all the way down. Inhale, peeling up into a cobra pose. Feel free to keep a baby cobra though. So just listen to your body, meet your body where it's at. Few breaths here. And then an exhale to release all the way down. Inhale, pushes up into tabletop. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. So again, feel free to pedal out the feet here in your downward dog. A little bit of movement through the feet. Maybe you bend one knee while you bend the other knee. Maybe you just find stillness or just wagging your tail side to side. And then we'll find some stillness here in our downward dog. Take an inhale, float the right leg up. And exhale, step the right foot through, lower the back knee. Take an inhale, reach up, low lunge. Again, maybe right knee goes past that right ankle. Sink the hips down. Nice inhale, reaches up. And exhale to bend the elbows, find cactus arms. Draw the tailbone down a little bit. Nice deep breath in. Long, slow exhale out. Next time you take an inhale, let's reach all the way back up. And exhale, release the hands down towards your mat. Tuck the back toe under, lift that back knee. Step forward to find a nice forward fold. And think about just letting your upper body be heavy and folding over here. So if you have to put a generous bend in the knees, feel free to do so, especially if the hamstrings are pretty tight. Your next breath in is going to guide you to a halfway lift. Think about flat back here, that length from tailbone to crown of the head. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, raise all the way up, extend a mountain. And exhale, hands to heart center. So from here, we're going to come back to our mountain pose. But feel free to have hands to heart center as you feel back into your feet. So we're going to start to shift the weight into the right foot. Pick up the left foot. Step that left foot back, all the way back to a warrior one. So just start to find your placement of your feet for warrior one. Left toes can be pointed out a little bit, maybe to about 45 degrees. Bend in that front knee, and then just guiding the hip points towards the front of your mat there. Whenever you're ready, let's take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, open out to warrior two. So think of heel to arch alignment here, stretching the arms out to warrior two. Bend in that front knee as much as you would like. Let's inhale, reverse this warrior. And exhale, extended side angle, right arm to right thigh. This left arm reaches up and over, or maybe just reaching up towards the sky. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, extended side angle. Let's pause here, reaching that left arm up and over to any amount. On your next exhale, we're going to plant the left hand to the mat, right arm reaches up, revolve low lunge. And just find a gaze here. So I like to look down at my left hand. It's just easier on my neck. Maybe you like to look up at the right arm. Totally up to you. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, right hand to the mat, right foot steps back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, extend a mountain. And exhale, hands to heart center. So let's set back up for our mountain pose again. So back at the top of our mat we should be. And feet about hips distance apart. Feel free to bring hands to heart center. We're going to shift the weight into the left foot, pick up that right foot, step the right foot back, finding your warrior one on this side. So right toes pointed out about 45 degrees. Left knee can bend as much as you would like. And see if you can guide your hip points towards the front of your mat. Let's take an inhale, reach up. And exhale, open out to warrior two on this side. So my back is turned to you. Arms reaching out to a T, sinking that left knee past the left ankle if you would like. And then just having heel to arch alignment there. Keeping a little bit of softness in the elbows, but still actively reaching through the arms. Let's take an inhale, reverse this warrior. And exhale, extended side angle on this side. So left arm to left thigh, right arm reaches up to the sky or up and over. Inhale, reverse this warrior. And exhale, extended side angle. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And extended side angle. Reaching up and over to any amount. Last one. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, extended side angle. Let's take a pause here. Just feel that stretch along the right side of the body, even up into the armpits perhaps. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, right hand to the mat. Left arm now is going to reach up towards the sky, revolve low lunge. And then just find your gaze. So I'm looking down at my right hand. Come back to your breath. And then on your next exhale, setting left hand down on the mat, step your left foot back, downward facing dog. Really pushing the hands and the palms into your mat there to get some length back into the spine. Come back to your breath. Let's take an inhale, rise up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees all the way down to the mat. Come to a tabletop position. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And then just take a moment just to move around a little bit. So maybe a little bit of cat and cow. It doesn't have to be anything too exaggerated, but just making a little bit of movement. Maybe you even sway a little bit side to side in the hips. Feel free to even just circle the pelvis around. Maybe you add on those cat and cows here. Don't be afraid to move your body in an awkward way. Let's come back to some stillness here in our tabletop. Take an inhale to extend the spine and an exhale for a child's pose. So let's set up for a child's pose, something you can stay here for several breaths. So whether that be having feet together and your knees wide, you have more space for your abdomen. Maybe you want to have a little bit more of a tighter child's pose with knees together, feet together, and you just kind of rest your hands on top of each other and allowing the forehead to rest on down. So feel free to have your arms extended up towards the top of your mat, more of an extended child's pose. If the arms are a little bit fussy, maybe you have more of crocodile arms and hands here, just having the forehead rested down. Whatever you decide to choose, feel free to start to settle into your child's pose. And notice how the breath feels in this position. And just taking inventory and noticing. Maybe you start to deepen your breath a bit. And I'd like to bring my awareness to the circumference around my rib cage. Notice how on an inhale, the sides of the waist expand out. Rib cage starts to expand. And then as you exhale, see if you can soften a little bit. Maybe softening and letting go of any extra tension. And then whenever you're ready, just slowly start to make your way back to an upright position. Maybe you just sit back on your heels for a moment. And just nice and slow easing out of this, no rush. A moment just to notice the effects of the practice so far. And then let's make our way onto our seat. I'm going to go ahead and face you. Now for this one, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. The knees are going to drape open out to the sides. So kind of think of this as a butterfly position here. Maybe wiggle down into the hips a little bit. And then feel free to wrap your hands around your feet. And I'm going to offer an acupressure point for this one. So feel free just to wrap your hands around your feet if you want to skip the acupressure point. Or you can find your inner ankle bone, fall right off of your inner ankle bone. And in this hollow depression here, this is going to be called kidney 3. And then the mirror opposite or mirror image of that is another acupressure point that we're going to be just holding on to some pressure. Kind of think about using like little claws with your index finger and your thumb. So I'm just going to plug my thumb and my index finger right into that hollow depression, so not on the bone. And just start to maybe make circles. You can just hold pressure and apply that there. And if you're not holding on to the acupressure point, maybe you just start to fold over a little bit. Even if you are holding on to that point, those points there, you can still fold forward a bit here. And maybe just using your elbows on the inside of your thighs. You might find a little bit of tenderness with those acupressure points. And we're looking for a little tenderness, but nothing should be painful. And just start to come right back to your breath. And so give yourself that permission to come to your breath. Stay with your practice. And just tapping into these nourishing points here. And if you're not holding on to those acupressure points, maybe just bringing your awareness there. And if the body is inviting you to open up and maybe fold a little bit deeper, perhaps you do that. And just finding a nice steady rhythm for the breath. And go ahead and release from the acupressure point there if you had a hold of that. And maybe use your hands or your fingertips to just guide you back to an upright position. Feel free to even just roll your shoulders back a bit. Maybe roll your shoulders forward. And then whenever you're ready, let's make our way onto our back. So feel free to come all the way onto your back, straightening out your legs. And just taking a moment to let your body get nice and heavy, maybe fix any bunched up pieces of clothing, anything that can be distracting. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to go ahead and bend the knees, plant the feet, hug both knees in towards the chest. So doing this nice and slow, kind of almost meditative like. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose and then an exhale to let the knees fall to the left side. Now, any arm variation here, so arms can be out to a T, maybe up into a more of a cactus shape, but we want to find a little bit of the spine rotation, a little bit of a spinal twist, and feeling that openness through the chest. See if you can come right back to your breath. And now maybe both shoulder blades might not be meeting your mat, but see if you can relax through the shoulders and notice how that makes a difference along the front part of your chest here, just relaxing back that little bit. Just start to invite in a nice, steady, slow breath. And perhaps starting to focus on lengthening out your exhales. Letting this stretch be nice and passive. So seeing if you can relax a little bit more, maybe through the hips. Let your knees be heavy. Your legs are heavy. Keeping a little bit of softness through the jaw and neck. And then bringing your arms down by your side or on your belly. On an inhale, we're lifting the right knee and then lifting the left knee, coming onto our back. Take your hands to your knees and just a nice little circle of the knees here. Notice how that feels along your lower part of your back, maybe your glutes perhaps. And then we'll pause, hugging the knees into the chest. Take another deep breath in. And then an exhale to set your knees all the way to the right. Arms can be out to a T or cactus shape, so any arm variation there again. But something that you can see if you can relax the shoulders back. Come right back to your breath and just notice how the breath feels in the spinal twist. And as you're taking deep conscious inhales and exhales, we're massaging our internal organs. A nice massage for the organs. And if you're more of a visualization person, you might want to visualize the diaphragm. So as the diaphragm, as you take an inhale, the diaphragm pulls down into the pelvic bowl. And then as you exhale, it returns back up to its resting place. So taking an inhale, you can imagine the diaphragm just pulling down into the pelvic bowl. And then as you exhale, it returns back to its resting spot and having that little bit of contraction and softness. Let's take a couple more deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift the left knee. Bring the right knee with you, coming onto your back, and just take a moment to hug the knees into the chest. Maybe even pick up the head to roll yourself into a nice little ball. And then releasing the feet down on the mat, but stepping the feet out pretty wide. We're just going to windshield wiper the knees side to side. So just one more rinse through the hips. And then we're going to find stillness here as we straighten out our legs and start to find your Savasana. And so from here, maybe you like to stay for as long as you would like. Feel free to pause the video, grab any bolsters, cushions, or pillows, and feel free to make this Shavasana as cozy as you would like. So really think about nourishing the body and mind in your Shavasana as you just sort of feel the ebb and flow of energy circulating throughout your body. Let your full body weight release into your mat. And this is where I leave you for the rest of your practice. Again, feel free to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you would like. And until next time, Namaste.